So Seiko is no stranger to releasing some weird and wacky watches. They've had some doozies over the years. The watch that comes to mind immediately when thinking of the watch I have in today is the J Leno Sportura. This watch has a very similar dial layout. It is one of the kind of new, it's been around a little while now, but one of the solar speed timers with the 1/100th of a second chronograph. Big thanks to Gem Bijou for lending this in. I was down at the store the other day and just had to give it a little test spin. So let's get to it and take a look at the watch. All right, now there's a few versions of this out now, but this is part of a series of watches that came out last year to celebrate the 110th anniversary of the Laurel, which, yeah, this thing is far off from Seiko's first ever wristwatch, but there is one thing that has similarities, which is the additional strap that comes with the watch. Same colors as the original, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. So what's neat about the watch, other than the unique dial layout, is that it counts time in the chronograph function all the way to a 100th of a second. And when you fire up the chronograph, there's quite a dance of the hands that happen. So we'll do that in just a second. To change from time telling mode to the chronograph function, you just hit this bottom left mode button. And what happens is the regular time telling dial at the bottom turns into the minutes counter for the chronograph. The minute hand covers the hour hand, and they move in unison in the chronograph mode. To start it, just hit the top right pusher, and this thing comes alive. It's pretty fun to see those hands flying around like that, which after a minute they will stop to preserve battery. They'll continue to track the time, but they will stop spinning. We'll stop the chronograph now, and the top middle subdial gives us the seconds, 10th of a second at the left and 100th of a second to the right. I'll pop up a close-up clip and you can see better, but this is showing us in this clip 14.68 seconds, 14 in the middle, 6 on the 10th of a second subdial, and 8 on the 100th of a second subdial. Then the lower subdial shows the elapsed minutes, which was still 0 in this image. I'll start it up again, and the watch also does split time. So while the chronograph is running, you can press the upper left pusher. Make a note of the time, for example, first place in a race. Hit it again. The timing resumes until, say, second place comes in, and use that top right pusher to stop, top left to reset. The bottom left puts us back in regular timekeeping mode. And one thing I kind of wish this had was maybe in the top middle subdial, if that switched to running seconds. It's a lot of unused space when you're using this to just give the time. So making use of one of those subdials would have been nice. If you want a deeper dive on the Seiko Calber 8A50 that's running the watch, I'm going to put a link to a Watch Geek video where he goes into a lot of detail on it. The watch comes with both the bracelet and the leather strap. The bracelet is pretty beefy. It's got thick links and quite a weighty feel to it. Well finished and pretty well completely brushed. It is pin and collar for sizing, so some people are fans, some not so much, probably most not so much, but we've got a pretty good clasp here. The only negative with that would be there's only 2 micro adjusts. Overall, though, the bracelet isn't bad, and I think it looks good on the watch. Haven't tried the strap, but it seems like a good quality. The deployant clasp is fully stickered, so I won't be able to talk much on that today, but it is nice to get an extra look for the watch. I do like the color. Stitch work seems to be well done as well, and it's cool that it's a throwback to the Laurel. The case is fully brushed. There is a little bit of polish work around the bezel there, but it's quite large, and the pushers probably make it wear even larger on wrist. They're big themselves and stick out a good way from the case. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 41.9 millimeters. The lug to lug is 48.1 millimeters, although the end links are male, so they bring the measurement out to 53.1 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters and the thickness is 13 8.3 millimeters, including the domed sapphire crystal. Yes, sapphire here on this one. Water resistance on the watch is 100 meters. And here it is on my 7.25-inch wrist. And even though it's by no means a slim watch, it sits really well on wrist. I'm not necessarily a buyer of this particular watch, but I really like being able to get some time with the unique, funky ones. In a lot of ways, they can be the most fun to me to experience. And it's nice to have a couple of oddballs in the watch box too. Cost for this is $1,050 USD, and if you're looking, check out gembijou.com or visit in-store downtown Toronto. Thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.